So if you get less than 1,000 customers, new customers per month with your supplement brand, your health brand, your wellness brand on Google Ads, then you need to watch this video. Because what I want to talk about in this video is what stops supplement brands, health brands, wellness brands from acquiring thousands of new customers per month for their brand profitably, where you're getting paid to acquire new customers through Google Ads and YouTube Ads. Because I've worked with dozens of supplement brands, health brands who weren't at that spot before they started working with us. Like Miracle Medicinal, we now get 5,500 new customers per month profitably. There's a UK supplement brand as well. We started working with them 30 days ago, completely dormant Google Ads account, burned by previous agencies. We're now advertising on YouTube at a free extra hours for one of the ad creatives. That's now scaled to £300 a day. We're going to get to 1K per day in the next 10 days. So it is possible for your supplement brand to get thousands of new customers per month on Google. We do it every single month. So what's holding you back from doing that? Let's break it down. The first big bottleneck that I see is just that brands simply aren't spending enough on Google. When you're hitting 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 customers per month, you're looking to spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 per day. This is through shopping primarily, PMax, a full build asset group PMax if you're running it, or you're just starting to crack YouTube. You found one winning ad, you found the right landing page for that ad, and you're starting to get a healthy amount of sales from it. If you're being cautious with budgets, maybe you're watching YouTube videos of how to scale your brand on a small budget, then there's only so much scale you can achieve at that budget level. Scaling into 1,000 new customers, 2,000, 3,000 requires some serious capital and actual investment into Google and YouTube as a platform in and of itself. Imagine there's 30 days in a month, you want 1,000 new customers, you can't get 30 new conversions per day if you're only operating at $100 a day, $200 a day. You're gonna have to start spending a lot more in the first place. It's just not mathematically possible to think small and scale big on Google, even though you can get quite big gaps between the amount that you're paying for a click and the amount that you're getting for a conversion to where the ROAS looks really healthy on Google. That's mainly on branded terms. Cold traffic is cold traffic, and you're gonna end up spending cold traffic prices for clicks and cold traffic prices for conversions when you are doing cold traffic advertising, regardless of where you're advertising. Could be on Pinterest, could be on Snapchat, could be on TV, whatever. All these places are going to have their own CPMs, their own cost per clicks, their own CPAs. And you may have been psyoped to thinking you can spend a little bit on Google, get all the branded conversions and hit a 10x ROAS. That's not going to fly when you're trying to scale to 1,000 customers per day minimum. So get it out your head first and foremost that you don't need to spend that much on Google to really crack this. You do need to have a healthy amount of budget, 1K per day, 2K per day, 3K per day minimum to start advertising on YouTube, to start pushing PMax to its potential given your product. You might have the budget, but the next big bottleneck that you'll have is that your campaign strategy just isn't sustainable for this. A lot of supplement brands that I audit are only running basic shopping campaigns with unoptimized product feeds and maybe a branded search campaign on the wrong bidding strategy here and there. And don't get me wrong, that's fine if you just run one shopping campaign or one PMax campaign and then one branded search campaign for a majority of your starting spend on Google. In fact, I recommend that as long as you've got the optimizations right on the back end in terms of your product feed, the right bidding strategies, the right copy on the ads, right understanding of what you're actually bidding on, then that's going to be perfectly fine for you. A simple account structure is going to work fine for that. However, if you have a fundamental misunderstanding of how to run these campaigns from a bidding strategy perspective, where they are placed in terms of your funnel, who you're trying to target in terms of those campaigns, then you're always going to stay small and not going to be geared towards acquiring new customers profitably. What you need as you start scaling into 50 plus conversions on new customers per day, into the hundreds, into the 200s, just through Google and YouTube, is a systematic campaign architecture where you have clear layers of understanding of which campaign is going to be bottom of funnel and you optimize it around that, which ones are going to be middle of funnel and you optimize around that, and then which ones are going to be pure top of funnel, cold traffic, brand excluded. Your customers you're going towards have no idea about you. They're at a higher awareness level. Your Google strategy needs to understand audience awareness levels and market sophistication, and then leverage the campaign types that you're given. You're given search, you're given shopping, you're given display, and you're given YouTube. How to use each four of those for what it's used best depending on the audience awareness level that you're going for and where they are in terms of your funnel. How aware of the product, how aware of the problem, how aware of the solution, how aware of the brand are they, and then tailoring the campaigns based on that. By the way, if you want a more in-depth explanation of the right campaign strategy to use for your Google Ads, as well as all the other bonuses and modules that we have in our free Google Ads course for e-commerce, click the second link in the description, put in your email, and I send it to you absolutely free. The third thing that's stopping you from getting to 1,000 customers per month on Google and YouTube ads is that your product feed is terrible. Don't get me wrong, you can scale on YouTube ads without product feed. I actually recommend you don't use product feed ads on demand gen. Just don't do it. We haven't found that it's worked yet. Even with the most optimized product feed, it just doesn't. You're still pushing a lot of volume on your PMax. Most of that's going to be spent on shopping, and shopping is heavily reliant on your GMC optimizations. If you don't have your merchant center set up properly, then you're leaving so much money on the table and your competitors are going to lap you up. How your ads are displayed on the shopping network is strictly down to the variables in that SKU in your Google Merchant Center. The image is the image that you upload in the GMC. The title, which shows up, is the product title in the GMC. You have the price, you have the offer, you have the attributes behind that, you have the ratings, you have the description, which then leads into more of the SEO behind it. And I never recommend running Google Ads at all for e-commerce unless you have a at least basic shopping feed optimization. But if you're trying to scale to thousands of customers per month, you need to be on this every single day. This means having a separate product feed management. If you're on lower SKUs, just go in there manually and make sure that you're constantly updating your product titles, which is the highest level thing that you can pull, with the highest converting cold keywords that you've been converting on in the PMax Insights. I beg of you, please optimize your product feed. You need to make sure that every single point of leverage that Google gives you, you are actively using, because Google is a comparative shopping platform. This means that when a customer searches for your product or is at the product aware level, they're going to see all of the competition advertising against you. And the only way in which you're able to get into that first position, which gets 30 to 40% more clicks, is either spending more, which is the first lesson, but everyone's going to be spending more. How can you not beat them on budget? You beat them on the leverage and the variables. Better product feed optimization, higher customer ratings. You actually have your customer ratings on your products, higher customer ratings in general, better pricing, better images. These type of things are going to get you to that next level where you're always going to be prime number one. Your search impression share is going to be way above your competitors, and you're just going to soak up all of the new customers. They're going to click on you first. And when you have a page which is primed to convert on cold traffic, that's when you get to clean up. The fourth bottleneck is that you don't understand audience awareness levels. I mentioned this a little bit in one of the previous points, but at this stage, a lot of supplement brands just think that because they're getting some conversions on Google that they're good. But to reach thousands of new customers, you need to be strategic about what campaigns are going after what kind of customers. Eugene Schwartz broke down audience awareness levels in terms of completely unaware, problem aware, solution aware, brand aware, and then most aware. And most of your competition are advertising on Google for the supplements that you sell. They aren't matching the ad copy to the particular awareness level keywords that they're targeting. They don't have specific landers and campaigns addressing that, which are dynamic based on the search terms coming up. They don't have specific YouTube campaigns that think about the audience awareness level of this. For example, if you're selling like a magnesium supplement for sleep, someone who's searching magnesium supplement, they already understand what magnesium supplement is. They're just looking for the best one. However, you're not going to send someone who came through on your YouTube campaigns to the same shopping product page that you use on the magnesium product because they're too cold. You need to get them to that point. So you have a pre-sale page there. I'll get to that in a bit. You just be aware of what conversion mechanism needs to go in, what more information do you need to give someone to educate them on the fact that you're better than the competitors, because again, they've seen all of the other competitor ads and they're coming to your brand, they're coming to your website in a completely different way depending on the search term that they're searching for. They're in a different mindset. You're not just giving them an ad on Facebook and praying that Zuckerberg gives them the ad in the right awareness stage, and you're not able to tailor for that in the creative unless you're doing YouTube specifically. And if you are doing YouTube, I just recommend you go completely broad, cold, unaware anyway, because that's just the biggest target, cheapest clicks, cheapest CPMs, whatever. But what I'm saying is you just need to keep this in mind, because if you're just running a branded search and a shopping campaign, all you're going to get is like product aware level people. You're not able to expand out into the little nuances which then get you the cheaper clicks, which then get you the more profitable conversions in the space that people aren't advertising in. That's when your search impression share can really go high. Reason number 5 is that you're afraid to aggressively test. And this one's huge because I see that supplement brands who are below 1,000 customers per month, they have a conservative mindset around testing. They don't want to spin up new landing pages. They don't want to spin up new angles. They don't want to tailor the experience of a customer coming in from one keyword to another. Of course, you don't want to over tailor too much. You want to let Google do its thing, but they're just sending everything to one page because it just works. And that's fine. But if you really want to break past this plateau that you're facing right now, you need to think about your Google ads as multiple different channels and multiple different ways in which people can get to your ad. With Facebook, they just see the ad, it's on their feed, it's fine, it pops up, whatever. It's just one straight funnel. Whereas there's multiple different ways in which someone can get into that one particular bit. And because you have so many broad different ways in which someone can come into your funnel through Google, you need to have different ways and be able to convert these people, because one conversion mechanism isn't going to work on someone who came in through the funnel this way compared to this way, for instance. So you need to keep that in mind. You need to personally separate testing budget from scaling budget. Always have like 5%, 10% of your budget just to test shit, test different pages, different creatives, ad split tests, shopping fee split tests, all that type of stuff. You're never going to get it right first time. It's very rare. We hardly ever get, just full transparency, we hardly ever get it right first time either. But because we have this testing mindset, we're always able to crack a winner for someone within like 30 to 60 days. And then from there, we can scale it from there. People try and scale their Google campaigns early because it's working just enough. But the ads that you're currently at now won't be able to scale into cold traffic because it's not adhering to the awareness levels that you need to scale into to get to 1,000 customers per month, 2,000, 5,000, etc. The more you operate conservatively with testing, the more profitable audiences that you miss, and the more that you'll be stuck at your current level. I mentioned it a couple of times, but the 6th reason is that you're completely ignoring YouTube ads. This really is our secret weapon at demand capture. The question is, are you testing and running your winners on Meta into Google? Do you have custom pages, quiz funnels, listicles, advertorials to account for the audience awareness level of someone watching YouTube videos? Do you have specific YouTube creatives which work native to that platform? If you're not getting at least 30% of your customers from YouTube in your Google campaign, then you're doing something incredibly wrong. That's your top of funnel engine. That's where everyone's going to come in from. You can't scale past the initial search volume that you have at the product aware level unless you get people to search for that term in the first place. And you do that through creating the demand yourself. Google isn't just a demand capture platform anymore. Even though that's our namesake, sake, even though that's what we specialize in. We ought to just call ourselves demand generation, because that's what we do now with YouTube and Google. You're able to push so much more new traffic in cold audiences, people who are completely unaware of any sort of your competition. You're hitting them right at the problem. They're not on Instagram, they're on YouTube. They're not on Facebook, they're on YouTube. Boomers love YouTube, they love supplements, they have a lot of pain points. They're all there right for the taking. If you go in a triple whale for any of our big YouTube accounts, it is all just strictly through Google. No Facebook retargeting, they're not scrolling TikTok. It is all just a pure Google acquisition channel, and you're missing out completely if you're not taking advantage of YouTube. The key with YouTube is this: you need a native YouTube format ad created, whether it be a podcast setting, a street interview, something that doesn't feel like an ad, even though it's in the ad slot, and people who watch ads on YouTube, they're familiar with it, but it really grabs their attention because it's something that they would be watching in the first place. Then instead of sending them straight to the product page, you send them to a pre-sale page, advertorial, listicle, quiz funnel, educating them on the problem that you've arised in them. Then you present your solution. So you're trying to disguise the sales process as much as possible. And don't delude yourself that YouTube doesn't work. It just means that you're not good at it. But it is absolutely important going into 2026, 2027 that you master YouTube, whether it be desktop, mobile, which we specialize in, or even TV with QR codes. There's so much room to scale into YouTube that if you get in here now, when none of your competitors are, then you've got to clean up. All of the supplement brands that we've been able to put YouTube on as well, because they've had the creative flywheel in the back end to be able to do it, or we've been able to put together creators ourselves that are able to scale. We're spending $500 a day to $2,000 per day on creatives, which are getting us a large majority of the thousands of new customers which we're able to do per month. And we're being paid for it. And it's a new channel, and they're completely new customers, and the CPMs are cheap, and the CPCs are cheap, and our competitors aren't advertising on there. So while you're scraping for the bottom of the barrel on Meta, we're scaling on YouTube, and you wouldn't even know. We've got YouTube Premium, or you're not even seeing the ads, and no one has the conversion mechanism or the thinking of the awareness level of the person on YouTube, or how to advertise with someone on YouTube in their mind. And the last point, and this is really the killer that we've been able to implement for all of our clients, is the upsell process. You don't see this because you're not buying from your competitors, which you ought to see the full breadth of the funnel. Your funnel doesn't end at checkout. We're writing upsell VSLs which get a 30% take rate, which increases their AOV by 30%. They are 5-minute long videos from the founder congratulating them on the sale, and then describing the next problem that they'll have after they've bought the product. And we basically resell them everything that they just bought, or we sell them another item or another bundle of items which speed up the process of them getting to the outcome, which is the reason why they just bought from you in the first place. So say, for example, your AOV is like $60, ours is going to be like $90. Who can spend more to acquire a customer? It's going to be us. Who makes more money on the back end in terms of first purchase? It's going to be us. And then if you combine the YouTube ads, the PMAX, the branded search, the branded shopping, the search ads, optimized product feed, this is how you turn Google into 1,000 customers per month machine. And if you want a Google and YouTube ad system built directly into your e-commerce brand, so you can scale to 1,000 customers per month, then click the first link in the description, work with us at Demand Capture, and we'll be able to get you from completely dormant Google Ads account, burnt by previous agencies, to a Google Ads account that's printing for you with campaigns that actually work. And if you want to learn more about how we do this here at Demand Capture, click this video on screen where I take you through a case study of how we're able to get $500,000 in 30 days for one of our supplement brand clients. I take you through the full process, A to Z, and a bit more information about how we think about Google Ads here at Demand Capture.